Hi, I'm Amy Harbison, and welcome to Seniors Today, a monthly program for those 50 plus in Montgomery County, produced by the Commission on Aging. The arts and entertainment industry has been one of the hardest areas hit by COVID-19. Today, we'll learn more about the state of the arts in Montgomery County during this pandemic and the resilience and creativity of our local arts community. Joining me is Suzan Jenkins, Chief Executive Officer of the Arts and Humanities Council of Montgomery County. Welcome, Suzan.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me today.
Sure. And please, let's start with this extraordinary time we find ourselves in. And can you just give me a sense of this landscape for the arts and humanities right now?
Well, it's a sobering but hopeful landscape, Amy. Americans for the Arts is reporting over $14 billion in losses since the beginning of the pandemic. And Montgomery County, we did a survey of the arts and humanities organizations that we serve. And in September, they reported a little over $45 million in losses. You take that coupled with the fact that unlike other sectors, some retail stores, some tattoo parlors, hair salons, nail salons that were allowed to open at the beginning of phase 2, arts organizations, presenting organizations, concerts, theatrical productions, they have not been allowed to open. So we haven't been able to enjoy any of the funding from the CARES Act reopening funds because we haven't been able to reopen. There have been some funds that have come to us from Montgomery County government, namely $3.5 million for arts organizations and artists and scholars from CARES Act Emergency Fund, and some funds that we've gotten, about $90,000 that we've gotten from the state of Maryland through CARES Act. And then just recently, a tourism anchor grant for some arts organizations that was over $5 million for those organizations, and some for-profits in there too. But with a reporting of $45 million in losses, you can see that that doesn't even come close to making organizations whole. It's really created an existential crisis.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there an end in sight? Is there any kind of phasing that's being considered for particularly performing arts organizations?
Well, there have been many, many good conversations around how to reopen safely. And our arts and humanities organizations, artists and scholars know how to do that. It's that we have to be given the opportunity to do so. We know what to do and we know how to do it. We understand staging like nobody else. So we understand what it feels like to be 6 feet, 12 feet apart. We understand projection and what that looks like. And so we understand how to protect ourselves and our audiences. Arts organizations and creatives were really, in my view, some of the first that should have been allowed to go back to work, because our creative minds and the way that we problem solve is like no other. And I know that as soon as we move back to phase 2 and 3, and our sincere request that we be allowed to reopen along with other business sectors, we'll be creative and we'll be able to do it safely for everyone.
Yeah, so is this like the arts advocacy push of a lifetime?
I don't think I've ever worked this hard in my lifetime. You know, Amy, while I'm very proud that we've been able to bring in so many funds for emergency funding, and we've done some other really great things too. We've provided technical assistance and professional development. You know, if you're a singer, a professional singer, you're used to walking up to the mic and the spotlight comes on and the sound comes on and you open your mouth and you sing. Well, right now, you also have to learn how to set the lighting, worry about the sound, what about the baffling, what to make sure to protect the sound that you're trying to project without outside sounds coming in. So now we found that not only just individual artists and scholars, but theaters, they have to learn how to produce and make their craft in all new ways. That requires some professional development. And so we've been offering that too, trying to help organizations get to those who are able to teach them how to make that turn, how to make that terribly overused word pivot right now, and to think about how to produce your work in ways that you never had to do so before.
Well, there are organizations, there are local theaters certainly, and musical organizations as well that are trying new things during this time, obviously because they want to stay front of mind and they need to keep their actors and performers working. But can you tell us about some of the things that have been going on during this time and how difficult it is to monetize and sustain with these kind of offerings?
Right. Well, there have been some incredible productions. Most of the biggest theaters in our area, Olney, Roundhouse, Adventure Theater, Imagination Stage, they've all been able to think about new ways to present their craft. We've also seen some smaller organizations, dance organizations, Kid Museum offering great online offerings for students and for their audiences. The issue, though, is that there is an immense amount of offerings in the world right now that are also free. And so the question is, how do you learn to monetize quickly in this new environment? It reminds me a lot of when I was a senior vice president at the Recording Industry Association of America, and we first discovered Napster. And the idea around how do you begin to monetize something that at that moment seemed like it was free. And so I think that not only do organizations have to teach themselves new ways to present and produce their work in virtual environments, but monetizing it, trying to figure out how now, when you might have charged, say, $100 for a ticket or even 75, what do you need to do in order to make people see the value of your offering when it only seems practical to ask people to pay $10 or $20? So there's so many new business models, new ways of presenting, new questions about how to do that. This has been an incredible time.
Yes. And if the general public wants to be supporting the arts in this time, wants to stay current on the issues, wants to advocate for their local arts, what's the best thing they can be doing right now?
Well, I think that you want to support local always. So if there's a theater or an organization in your community, support them. If you don't go to children's theater, buy tickets for your neighbors and give it to them for their kids for the holidays. Give the gift of music and performance over the holidays. Bethesda Magazine has a great guide to giving that's out right now, and I hope that we'll be able to flash that website and show people where you can go to arts organizations in the area. If you want to know who we serve, you can go to our website, which is creativemoco.com. But if you want to know what's happening and you want to buy those tickets, you want to go to those performances, you want to support those organizations, go to our outward facing calendar. That's called culturespotmc.com. And you go to our outward facing calendar and you can see all the events that are happening over the holidays. And this is a great way for you to see and support local during this really difficult time.
Wonderful. Suzan, thank you. We could fill up hours and hours on the relevance and importance of the arts to our community, and it's such an important economic engine for Montgomery County. Thank you so much for being here today and for helping shine a light on the wonderful arts in Montgomery County. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Amy. It's always wonderful to see you. I appreciate you having me. Have wonderful holidays.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this month's Seniors Today. Don't forget, you can access a great deal of information about county services for seniors by going to the Montgomery County Senior website at montgomerycountymd.gov/seniors or call the Senior Resource Line at 240-777-3000. And as always, thank you for watching Seniors Today.